So within, I think it was 72 hours, right? We launched a campaign and I think we had 19 to 20 calls come in really fast.
Yeah, we had some really good traction, fill up the board for a couple weeks off that alone. Yeah.
Since the call volumes increase, you're not sitting around really with empty counters at this point. I mean,
No, that's not the problem. Yeah, we're dealing with a capacity issue, not a demand issue right now.
I'm with Tom Shearer here from Pompton Lakes, New Jersey. Tom, how long have you been working with us? Like 45 days or so?
Yeah, I'd say we're over a month, probably less than
Okay,
2 months. Yeah, 45 days or so. Yep, Tim.
got it. Just kind of going over results. Like we were kind of at a standstill. Like I remember you coming to us, like, hey, the phone's got to ring. We need to, like you were stressed out, right? About the phone not ringing, which I
Yeah,
get. I get that the problem. So within, I think it was 72 hours, right? We launched a campaign and I think we had 19 to 20 calls come in really fast.
yeah, we had some really good traction, fill up the board for a couple weeks off that alone. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we had 18 calls, and I remember AJ calling the office like the phone was ringing in the background. You're like, the phone was going crazy, right?
Yeah, it's almost too powerful, but it
Yeah.
worked, and we definitely had stuff for the guys to do for a couple weeks for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, awesome. So that's how we started off. I know we redid that and kicked that off. Then the next thing we kind of targeted, I was like, hey, let's start Google and that whole process. Because when we launch a client, it's like, hey, if we have the automated acquisition lead flow with Google, that's what we talked about from the start. With local service ads, we optimize Google My Business Profile, getting the reviews coming in. Like we started with that. So we started that out, and then I know that you guys got almost a little bit too much demand because you couldn't handle it, and we kind of had to step off the demand. What happened there?
we definitely started getting just some traffic through those channels, and we were kind of at capacity with the team members that we had, and with all of our maintenances in the into the fall here. So we've actually had to back that off a little bit. We're trying to retool, get a couple more guys, and then we'll be able to turn the volume back up. But what was encouraging, I guess, was that it works. So
Yeah, yeah,
we know
yeah,
that how you
yeah,
guys kind of dialed up with the services, the areas we were targeting. We know that that will work.
yeah,
And now it's more like, let's make sure that we can actually
yeah.
absorb the demand at the right time of the season to absorb, that next wave. Yeah.
Yeah, the next wave of calls coming in.
Yeah.
So basically, like, so we started Google, and what happened? Like, you guys filled capacity within a few weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah, it definitely took, probably a week and a half or so for like stuff to actually start happening just because we had no
Yeah,
presence at all. It was something we were already doing, but we really started pushing harder on the reviews. So
yeah,
we got a whole bunch of reviews to help sort of the Google rankings. And then, I was looking at neighboring towns and we weren't even showing up on Google. And then as soon as we kind of turned on the Google ad stuff, all of a sudden we're kind of one, two, and three in the key markets that we care about. And we
mhm,
just know that if people are looking for our services, they're actually going to see us. So
yeah,
I didn't appreciate how invisible we were,
yeah,
even though I was being told we were doing the right things from our
yeah,
website guys and the SEO. Now I actually could see us
yeah.
being visible there at the top. Yeah.
And what happened once you're in that top three on the left? Like, what happened? The phone started.
Yeah, we actually get calls. Yeah, because
Yeah,
like everyone knows, right? If you're gonna, unless you know the name of the business you're specifically targeting, you're just looking for a general service, you're
yeah,
gonna kind of trust
yeah,
the rankings to tell you who's good
yeah,
and who's not good.
yeah, yeah,
So what we could do on our side is get our 5-star reviews up and make sure that if we show up there, people will say, oh, they seem to know what they're doing, not
yeah,
2 stars or whatever.
yeah,
But yeah, no, we definitely started to get some inbound calls, and it was good working with your team on honing that in because,
yeah,
at first it was, hey, let's put all the keywords out there. Maybe we got some calls that
yeah.
were in our business, but not the ones we necessarily wanted. So it's been really easy to kind of tweak that and kind of make sure we're getting the calls that we actually want. Yep.
So now, like, you're not sitting around, like, since the call volumes increase, you're not sitting around really with empty counters at this point. I mean,
No,
yeah.
no, that's not the problem. Yeah, we're definitely full up, and yeah, we're dealing with a capacity issue, not a demand issue right now.
So the way
Yeah,
I look at it too is like if once you have a demand filled, then it's like you build out capacity and create more demand, and then
yeah,
that fills out that's how you would scale up. Yeah. So just some of the numbers like in 45 days when I'm looking at things, again, like we really started this the first 30 days, but you've gotten like 768 people have viewed your Google My Business profile. You've had 325 clicks, 15,000 impressions that were able to drive for your business. So branding is huge. not everybody buys on the first time, right? So it's
Of
like
course, yeah.
you got to underestimate the retargeting. A lot of people take two, three, four times to see your
Yeah.
brand actually click, right? So not most people
Yeah.
don't click the first time. If I look at overall, up over 140 calls when you factor in, some of the Google My Business stuff and the
Okay.
LSAs getting more and more, and the leads coming in too, right? The quality of the calls has been great for you guys.
And it's getting better. As I said,
Yeah,
it's been really nice working with people that know what they're doing. Because
yeah,
I think if I was doing it on my own, I wouldn't know what to do with
yeah,
tweaking and getting the right calls. Like, how can we tweak it to get more of the core repair
yeah,
replacement stuff that we really want to
yeah,
be involved in to drive
yeah.
the real business forward? Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like revenue, I mean, over six figures in revenue. So we've really scaled up the revenue and really, from there, we're building out a scalable acquisition model that like will scale you guys up. Keep in mind, like we started from a standstill, right? I mean, he
Hmm.
didn't even really own, I mean, to be honest, you didn't own the company. You were just bought it, right? It was archaic in
Yep.
a lot of ways.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
all of our systems need to be completely revamped
yeah,
for going to the next level. It was a mom and
yeah,
pop shop basically, and everything was pen and paper and mom and pop.
yeah,
But
yeah,
there was a
yeah,
reason why they couldn't get to where we want to go. So,
yeah.
the big lift is yeah, like getting everything so that if we do have the increase in volumes and can fill up the schedule, can we actually logistically get through the day and stuff like that? So yeah, it's a big project right now.
Yeah, and off these leads that we're driving in, first, you guys have gotten some bigger ticket, full installs, stuff like that, bigger ticket stuff, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
and working with you guys on what to do in the home, really take advantage
yeah,
of
yeah,
the invite into the home, right, is the hardest part,
yeah.
right?
Awesome.
Once you're there, how do you maximize what you're coming out with?
Yeah,
And that's something that we're working with you guys on a
yeah,
weekly basis on teaching the guys up because they've been used to kind of going in and just checking the box
yeah,
as opposed to what other boxes can we be talking with the customer
100%.
about.
Yeah,
So I think keeping the schedule full and then maximizing, even if we're going in for a low cost maintenance,
yeah,
if we're going into 500 homes in this fall, we should be coming out with some bigger tickets. So yeah, we're definitely
yeah.
working with you guys on that stuff.
And so I think like the plan going forward to be like, hey, we want to build this thing that have it at exit at some point. The goal is like number one is like, every company that comes is like, hey, we got to get the board filled. Everyone has a lead flow problem. Once we fix that, start getting referrals off the leads, it's like now we have a sales problem, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like, how do we fix every visit? Can we get a 50, 60% close rate and start bringing in some higher ticket stuff? And then it's just a
Hmm.
flywheel effect where like that creates a referral, that creates a review, and now you get more membership clubs, and now you're scaling the model, and that's the flywheel that we teach our companies. Because at some point, like you get up to $4 or $5 million, like your ad budget increases, and the flywheel gets bigger and bigger, right? So the next goal for you would be like, hey, at the house, can we close high ticket 50% of the time and really build out the sales engine? Because once you
Yeah.
build out that fuels the marketing lead. So yeah,
Yeah.
what would you tell the company like, hey, I'm thinking about working with Tim and them? I mean, what would you say to them?
I mean, listen, like we've had a really good experience in the 45 days or so that we've
Yeah,
been working with you guys.
yeah,
In terms of, basic stuff like accessibility and communication, everyone that I'm working with, including yourself, hey, if there's something I want to chat with you about, you guys are
yeah,
always available and easy to reach. So it's not a sort of disappearing act that you can certainly get from some other advisors. And I'd say, yeah, like the consistent support and, the results seeing what we've gotten so far, and I feel like we're just scratching the surface.
yeah,
And knowing, hey, there's some problems I got to fix on my end to let you guys do your thing, so we can
yeah,
kind of keep
yeah,
going. Yeah, we're
yeah,
really encouraged. Yeah,
yeah,
and the new people we're bringing on have
yeah,
really kind of bought into
yeah,
what you guys are saying, and so yeah, if it
yeah.
works, people get excited, and so far we're really excited.
Yeah, awesome. And the big question everybody wants to ask is, did we get your phone to ring over 100 calls?
The phone rings.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
phone rings. That
yeah,
is for sure.
yeah.
We're
Awesome.
we're we're drinking with a fire hose.
That's good. Yeah. So now it's a capacity problem. Now we got to fill that up. So, well,
Exactly.
thanks, Tom. Appreciate it, man. And we'll stay in touch. We're trying to scale this thing up and get him to an exit, but we're off to the right start. We got the leads coming in. Next phase, we got to sell more deals. So, thanks for doing this.
Excellent. Awesome, Tim. All right.
Awesome, man. Yeah.
Thanks so much.